was like, well, I don't know, man. Like, have you seen the updates with the Diddy trial? I was like, oh man, here we go. I was like, what's been popping off? So Cassie Ventura, the victim, an accuser of Diddy, popped up went to the court, right? She went up there to the trial, Diddy's trial, and she was a witness. She told her story and everything that happened. And the husband of Cassie Ventura, he was there to support her. They already have two kids, I think it's two daughters. God bless them. So God bless them, the whole family. But Cassie Ventura, she has that past. But in that past, we only know what we heard, or like through the tapes or news that when Didi beat her up on the outside the hotel room, and when Didi had her on the floor. But when it comes to the freak offs, man, they started talking about some crazy stuff and what she did, and they start talking about she's talking for what I heard. We're about to see the video. She's talking about Didi pissing on her and her rubbing the men's fluid on so and so. Disclaimer, man. If this is 18 and over, adults only channel, 18 and over channel, and if you're underage, you shouldn't be watching this. So if you have any kids or anybody under 18, please make sure you send them over to the other room. Have them put the headphones, have them go to sleep. It's already late, and this is just my disclaimer. This is just for mature audience only. And if you are under 18 and you're watching this, you shouldn't be watching this. So just go watch something else, and come back when you're 18, just out of respect. Okay, just so let's hop into this. Let's hop into the whole thing, and.
I'm Eva Pilgrim. Thanks for streaming with us. The defense getting their chance today to question Sean Diddy Combs' ex, Cassie Ventura. She spent 2 days telling the jury about how he forced her into drug-fueled freak-offs against her will with male prostitutes. Combs' defense now trying to paint a very different picture of their decade-long relationship. Cassie grilled about explicit text messages with Combs as the defense tried to show the jury the freak-offs were a defining of their relationship. This, as the judge told the defense to wrap this up by tomorrow because Cassie, who is 8.5 months pregnant, could go into labor any minute now. Combs faces the possibility of life in prison if convicted. He's pleaded not guilty and has denied all wrongdoing. We'll break down everything that happened in court today. We'll also get into the top searches on the web right now.
I'm just watching this with you guys on the live too. I haven't seen this, so I'm gonna be stopping this here and there. For the people that don't want to hear me talk over the video, don't want to hear my commentary, I'm just go look for the video. It says Diddy trial day 4, Cassie Ventura question about alleged violence, drug use, and then you can watch it over there, right? But so I don't want people complaining. Hey man, you talk too much. Hey, you stop this. This is what we do here. So if you want to hang out with us, do it. Let's do it. Let's have a good time. Here we go. Hit the like button.
Now tied to the Diddy trial, like white nail polish and can Trump pardon Diddy? We'll answer those questions in a bit. First, though, let's go to Aaron Katersky, our chief investigative correspondent outside the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Aaron, can you take us inside the courtroom? The defense is finally getting to question Cassie Ventura. What was this questioning like?
The questioning was very intense, although it was relatively gentle. But here was a woman who is a mother now, expecting her third child at any moment, with her husband in the courtroom, reading aloud the most personal and intimate text messages you could.
I'll say, like, some people say disgusting, man. Some people are saying, like, that they're surprised. They wouldn't be surprised if the husband leaves her, because this is some crazy stuff. This is some crazy stuff.
Ever imagine being read in open court about the sex she desired, the orgasms she had, and what she wanted to do with her intimate partner at the time, Sean Combs. And this was, if embarrassing for her, she seemed kind of resigned to it because she read it in matter-of-fact, rather kind of calm, flat tone, and she never wavered. She never lost her composure.
I'm curious, Aaron, what was the reaction in the courtroom as she read those text messages?
Well, some of the jurors, one woman shook her head, but most of them appeared to lean in toward their screen so they could read along and follow along as some of the messages, maybe the less eye-popping ones, but nonetheless pointed toward the evidence, where she said, "I'm always ready to freak off. I love to F-O, to freak off." Because the idea on the defense...
And that's another thing, that this whole thing is starting to have people divided, because, you know, some people were like with Cassie, and I'm just telling you guys what I hear on the internet, right? A lot of people are saying that, wait a minute, according to what she read, that she's about to read right now, she was with it. She was with it, you know? And some people are saying, oh, she was a victim. So they are divided. They are divided.
Side is to say that Cassie Ventura was not coerced into these sexual encounters with male prostitutes under threat of violence or humiliation, the way prosecutors described, but was a willing, even eager participant in the swingers lifestyle that they say Sean Combs led.
Good night.
And there was
Yeah,
also
check it out tomorrow.
surprising testimony today about Combs's drug use, allegations that he was addicted to opiates and at one point overdosed. What did we learn?
Well, this was part of the defense strategy, to concede that he's a drug user. Now, maybe the public didn't know the extent, but the defense was pretty frank that at one point he was addicted to opiates. At one point he flew to Mexico to try what Cassie Ventura called a plant medicine type remedy that's not legal in the United States, that the two together tried just about every drug, MDMA, ecstasy, ketamine, that the night of the now infamous freak-off in 2016 in the Los Angeles Intercontinental Hotel, where an assault was then captured on video, that maybe Combs was high on a bad batch of MDMA. But the idea here, Eva, I think, was to say that the violence from Combs was not to coerce Cassie Ventura into sex. It was the result of drugs, or
they were like on a sick one.
Another aspect was the result of jealousy and her infidelity, because we also heard today, Eva, about her dating Kid Cudi and about her dating the actor Michael B. Jordan, and how that led to some pretty scary arguments.
That's what they were saying, man, that she was dating like these dudes, other dudes, well, and doing this other dudes, but Diddy knew, right? Diddy actually knew, you know, that, you know, he was there watching her, you know, acting on these acts. These what they call lured acts.
Ventura put it with Sean Combs.
Aaron, I also have to ask you, because the defense asked her today on the stand about drugs in the baby oil. What did she say about that?
Oh, shit. That's a good question.
Oh, that was kind of a throwaway, and it just right before a break. But I think there's been some rumor about that there had been drugs in the baby oil, or the baby oil was tainted. But Cassie Ventura said that there were no drugs in the baby oil. She said plenty of other things about the baby oil during the course of her testimony, but drugs weren't apparently part of it.
Yeah, an internet rumor she dispelled there on the stand today.
Upon not intended, this guy says she said other stuff about the baby oil, but nothing about the drugs on the baby.
Aaron Kotursky, thank you so much there from the courthouse. Now let's break down some of the testimony from today's cross-examination of Cassie Ventura with ABC News legal contributor and trial attorney Brian Buckmeyer. You were also in the courtroom there today, so I'm curious to you, what was the standout moment?
Well, to narrow it down to just one is very difficult, so give me a chance to say two. Of course, those salacious text messages that everyone's talking about, details that are hard to get into, but I think not just the text messages, but the order in which they came about. The defense making the argument that Cassie and Combs had decided to have a freak off some days in advance, and the days leading up to those are where those salacious text messages came in, making it seem like Cassie really wanted to participate in. But also, I didn't think I was going to wake up this morning and find myself having just an iota of sympathy for Combs, because in the end of the morning, the defense made it seem like these two might have been two addicts participating in sexual encounters, and that's where the violence came from. Cassie testifying that she believed that at some point in time, Combs was an addict trying to get out of it, and that the withdrawal made him very irritable and angry at times.
And we all
Oh, for sure, they were all addicts, man. I mean, shit, so many drugs. She was my friends right there. I'm not supposed to be saying certain words, but I mean, they were doing everything, man. They were a whole Tijuana walking the Tijuana pharmacy. You know, they were doing everything.
also have to talk
They had everything.
about the jealousy that she talked about there on the stand in their relationship, and Cassie's concern about being a side piece, not the main girl. Tell us about that line of questioning.
So I think we're going to get there eventually when we get a broader sense of this. But don't forget, Kim Porter, whose children and that she shares with Sean Combs are in the court. I think the argument that we're having here is we see text messages like this. I'm nervous that I'm just becoming the girlfriend that you get your fantasies off with, and that's it. I don't get that, the other part, because Kim Porter is still in the scene. She is the quote-unquote main girl. And I think the argument here is that Cassie...
Okay, so Kim Porter was still in a picture dating Diddy. So see, this paints a whole different thing. I'm not saying she's not a victim though, right? Don't I want you guys getting all crazy on me.
His fantasies, hoping that if she keeps doing it, that Sean Combs will pick her. And the defense, I think, is making the argument that she's not getting the attention or the love that she wants. She's not becoming the main girl here. And it's the jealousy that is fueling the violence, not the fact that Sean Combs is trafficking her. And we start to see resemblance of that argument.
We heard Aaron Katursky mention the defense referenced those text messages today. What stood out to you?
So again, in the text messages, I think the conversation about how freak-offs were a part of their conversations, how they talked about going out and having a good time, but also plan the freak-offs. And the freak-offs seem to be part and parcel with the relationship. Looking at the dates again, let's go back to this.
What was that? Let me read the comment. Yo, what's up, Southtown? How you doing, man? Shout out to you. Let me hit you with the Don DeMarco right here. All right, let me see. It says, wonder if Diddy will have access to baby oil in this. So, dude, man. Hey, man, probably already does, right? Probably, he's getting all. And thank you for tuning in, brother. Appreciate it.
Message real quick. That's 2009, where she said she's nervous about just being a girlfriend. And here's 2017, some years later.
Then she was
saying,
with
I
it.
love the freak-offs when we both want to. It seems like the issue wasn't about freak-offs or not.
Okay, so this is the Cassie 2017. I love our freak offs when we both want it. Okay, this is painting a different thing. I'm still not saying that she was not a victim. I'm sure, she was a victim at a certain point, but it's like she's over here admitting that she loves the freak off, right? I mean,
how dare you?
Freak-offs, but that she wanted and enjoyed the freak-offs where they had a freak-off and then they had sexual relations afterwards, or vice versa, but they had that intimate time as a part of the freak-offs, not just that the freak-offs were bad altogether.
Not just something he wanted to do, something she wanted to participate in as well. The defense attorney has taken the lead here today in the questioning. Tell us about who this attorney is.
So Anna Estevos, she is the defense attorney who is cross-examining Cassie Ventura. We see some of her positions. He's a partner of the firm, White Collar Defense, worked as a federal defender in California for a year. I think she graduated law school in 2015. And so I see a lot of criticism online about her cross-examination. I would say from a factual standpoint, yes, you may see a defense attorney meander in the way that they ask questions, meander in the way that they're trying to argue. But the issue that stood out to me is some of the difficulties that she had in terms of getting the evidence in front of the court, the judge helping her out, sometimes making mistakes. And another thing that I'll add a little color of the court, the amount of notes that were handed up to her from Combs, Tenny Garagos. At one point, it was just pink note after pink note after pink note. She had about 10 or so sitting next to her. And I noticed at some point the pink notes ran out and they started giving her yellow notes. Just so much information to help her get along with this cross-examination. I think she's doing a good job of getting the facts, just getting there seems to be a little difficult.
Interesting. Ryan Buckmeyer, thank you so much for being with us today. Still ahead.
Yo, this is a lot. This is a lot. And there's, what's this, day 4? And I was looking for a video, right? I was looking for the video, like try to see for the court, but they're saying that since this is a whole, a federal case, they don't have cameras. It's just drawings, and these drawings are crazy, right? They be drawing Diddy all crazy.
After 4 days of testimony and 1 day of cross-examination, which side seems to have the leg up here? Our legal team is standing by. Also coming up, Will Trump pardon Diddy?
What?
Why, that's one of the top searches about the.
Hey, they always got to bring Trump for this shit. I mean, what the hell? That was just random, right? And people are wondering, like, what the?
Also coming up, will Trump pardon Diddy? Why, that's one of the top searches about this trial. Stay with us.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right. Shout out to ABC News, man. Don't hit me with the
To ABC News
copyright.
Live, day 4 of testimony has wrapped up. The first day of Cassie Ventura's cross-examination. The defense peppering her with questions about infidelity and jealousy in their relationship, showing the jury sexually explicit evidence concealed by privacy screens from the rest of the court. It's time to break down these legal arguments that we've seen today. We've got Brian Buckmeyer playing the defense today and Bernarda Villalona playing prosecutor.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm going to start with you since the defense is doing the cross at the moment. Is the defense punching holes in this case?
I think to some degree they are, but as I'm listening to this testimony and seeing this cross-examination, I don't think it's so much that they're punching holes. It's more so that they're creating a separate narrative altogether. And I don't think that they're actually winning so much, and I think that the prosecution isn't winning because they're creating a separate narrative that is reasonable, that does create doubt, and that's what a defense attorney does. I'm left after the morning
these
inspection
crazy
while sitting there in
drawings.
court and reading the transcript as we continue.
Shout out to the artist though. I wouldn't be able to drive this, but it looks pretty tight though. But it's just different, right?
Is this trafficking? Or is this
That's
two
Diddy.
individuals who are addicted to drugs, violently
Freaking
and
off.
aggressively interacting with each other? Is this domestic violence or is this trafficking? I'm still having that question mark, but I don't think this witness is going to bring us all the way there. I think we still have to wait for the trial to continue.
Bernarda, you're sitting there as the prosecution watching this cross. You getting nervous?
Not at all, not at all, because
she's
the
there.
defense attorney is falling flat in terms of the delivery, in terms of how she's questioning Cassie Ventura, in terms of the logic in her questioning. It's all over the place and it's very difficult to follow. So yes, the defense attorneys know what all the text messages are and the prosecution does as well. But guess who needs to know? The jury does. So the way and the manner that's being delivered and the way that she's being questioned is falling flat. So as the prosecutor, I'm like, okay, what's your next question? Because you're also giving a lot of time for Cassie to think about whatever question that you're posing to her, which is not good for the defense.
Yeah, exactly. What's up, Della? Thanks. Shout out to you, man. Let me hit you with a thunder, Marco. Welcome to the stream, man. We're watching right now Diddy trial day 4. Cassie Ventura question about alleged violence and drugs. Man, this whole thing is crazy, man. It's crazy. These freak offs.
And the prosecution is going to have a chance to clean all this up after.
Absolutely.
So what
But
are
it's
you?
not much to clean up, though. It's not much to clean up. The prosecutor is aware of these text messages because guess what? The prosecutor was the one who turned it over to the defense, so they're ready for it.
But I'll say this though, I think the defense did a good job in the sense of, and again, this isn't the defense
What
winning
else,
so
man?
much as the prosecution not so much. The prosecution gave us this much in terms of text message, and the defense got to have the opportunity, which I love doing when I'm a defense attorney, say, hey, it's their burden. They're supposed to prove this case, but they gave you 5% of this conversation. I'm the one who's giving you 100% of it. This is the real context of it. And I think when you read all these text messages, it made it seem like the prosecution was somewhat disingenuous and not giving them everything. So even if the government comes up and rehabilitates, I would still be like, well, you never gave us the whole thing to begin with.
But I have to disagree because what's coming out through the defense is that the defense is bringing the lovey-dovey part of the relationship.
I agree, man. There's no respect, man, for self-respect. Real quick, I had to make a pause there too. They were doing all kinds of crazy stuff and drugs and all that, but you see these pictures? They don't look messed up, right? I mean, look at that. Well, she looking at it. I don't know if this is her look, but they look. I mean, she looks as her other pictures, same Diddy. But I mean, you never know, man. They were young here, right?
Because what's coming out through the defense is that the defense is bringing the lovey-dovey part of the relationship, right? He's
Oh,
on trial, not for the lovey-dovey part, he's on trial for the criminal part. So the
boom.
prosecutor came out with the criminal part having to deal with the text messages and with the
Mm,
testimony that makes this case a criminal case, not the lovey-dovey part. In fact, the prosecution can
smart.
clean that out. Like, yes, I told you in opening that they had a complicated relationship. At times they loved each other. They probably loved each other during the entire relationship. But what we're here for is the criminal part, which is the freak offs that wasn't with her consent, which was the violence that was part of
Let's
that
choose be
coercion,
honest.
that
Nobody
manipulation
wants to
that
take
put her in
accountability
fear
for their
to
actions.
unwillingly
They know that
consent
it didn't
at
goes
times
down
to
the
these
rest of
freak
the
offs.
monster's
Okay,
gonna
we got to
go
also
down.
talk about kind of the other issue at hand.
Yo, man, you hit it right on the nail, man. See, because yeah, I'm sure, this is not a fact, right? Oh, let me hold on. Okay, hold on. There's certain gestures I can't do because of the camera, but here, but yeah, I'm sure. Like, I mean, there's got to be some stuff that Cassie, has too, because if she was recruiting people, I mean, she had power, right? So yeah, you're right. Not, and maybe there's dirt that Didi has. Maybe there's things that, but I mean, she's taking the stand, but also to other people. There's a bunch of people. A lot of names have been exposed to keep on getting. They keep being exposed, right? So there's a lot of people involved that they do not want um to be.
Come on, any other
You
person
know,
would be held accountable and be
And here,
locked
which
up
is
for
that
this nonsense. Perfect example of
power.
power.
Boom. Facts, man.
Cassie is 8.5 months pregnant, and the
Follow us
judge
on
was very
Instagram
clear
and
that
stay
he wants the
connected
defense
at
to
Activate.
wrap this up because she might give birth any moment. Is that a problem for the defense?
I mean, it depends on how you want to operate. I'm not going to say that I have done this. I'm not going to say that people I know have done this. But if you know a witness is on the clock and then they have to end their testimony, the defense could be bumbling, dragging their feet to some degree, because if they finish their cross-examination late into Friday afternoon, it limits the amount of time that Bernardo is talking about to rehabilitate this witness. Because if they end at 3 o'clock on Friday and they know they only have 2 hours to do a redirect, it hurts their opportunity to try to make their case better. So maybe there's some
Yeah, I don't think this case is gonna end anytime soon, man. This is gonna take a while.
strategy that her having to leave
We're in
after
for a
some time
ride.
actually
Let's put
helps
it
the
that way.
defense.
So you think they're using the strategy?
I'm not saying that any defense attorney has ever done this, nor have I said that I have done this. I'm just saying theoretically it could be possible.
Okay, I have to ask you also, both of you, who do you think has the leg up here right now? Bernardo, you go first.
Well, we're still dealing with just the first main witness, right? So I can't say that anybody has the leg up that's going to carry out the entire trial. But I would say that based on the direct examination and the cross-examination so far, that the prosecution still has the leg up, because whatever little damage, minor damage that was done today, I think can
When you
still
didn't
be
notice Diddy was a
explained.
narcissist when
And
he
you
had
also
an
have
umbrella
other witnesses
butler,
that
I
have to
don't know
testify.
what to tell you, LOL.
I think at this point it's 50-50, and as a defense attorney, 50-50 means there's reasonable doubt, and that means the defense wins. But I do think this.
Yo, let me make a pause. Yo, that was sick, right? Homeboy he had a butler with an umbrella. That guy was, dude. That tells you right there, man. They were partying heavy, man. Yeah, man. I forgot about that butler, man. But yeah, I remember a lot of people were like, man, hey, man, if I had that money, man, I'll be walking around with that butler. Hey, yeah, you got that kind of money, man. That kind of money makes you do crazy shit. I mean, proven fact, right here with Diddy. Yeah, dude has so much money, man. He was doing some crazy ass stuff. He was doing some Caligula
Like
type
who
of stuff,
does that?
right?
That's when I was
The
like,
leg
I
up
don't like this food.
Like, who's that? This, where is that butler, man? Somebody find the butler. Is the butler around?
Because whatever little damage, minor damage that was done today, I think can still be explained. And you also have other witnesses that have to testify. So
I think at this point it's 50-50, and as a defense attorney, 50-50 means there's reasonable doubt, and that means the defense wins. But I do think this. Cassie is not the star witnesses that we all been talking about. She is the star victim. I don't think she would know herself if she was trafficked or abuse because she was so into this.
So
I think what
much,
has to happen, the star witness, would be someone inside of Sean
Mm.
Combs' inner circle to say, this wasn't a drug-fueled
yeah,
relationship.
hiding.
We all knew she was being trafficked. Combs told me this. This person knew it. That person knew it. She was just so wrapped in it, she didn't know she was being trafficked. So until that person comes and testifies and they get that information, I don't think we know who's winning this case so far.
As a prosecution, is that a hard, bridge to build?
Oh yeah, Dylan. That dude got to know a lot. I mean, he was carrying an umbrella, chasing Diddy, man. Imagine probably that guy was over there doing the freak off, and he's like probably calling the butler like, "Hey man, I'm gonna need some shade. Can you bring that umbrella?" Jeez.
No, not at all, because the prosecution, the government has the power. You decide who you're going to prosecute. You decide who you want to cut a deal with. You decide who you're going to want to bring in as a witness, who you want to compel as a witness, who you say, you know what, you committed a crime. I'm going to hold this against you unless you are willing to cooperate and come in and testify. So not concerned as a prosecutor because you have the whole government behind you and resources as well. So while Diddy is a billionaire, was a billionaire,
Was it?
and
Oh snap! Oh, ouch! Look at homeboy over here, man. Oh, now that was cracking jokes on Diddy. He's like, did you guys catch that? He's like, Diddy is a millionaire. He's like, I'm sorry, was a millionaire. Oh man,
Yeah.
let's play this. Let me play it again.
Get that information. I don't think we know who's winning this case so
Very.
far.
As a prosecution, is that a hard, bridge to build?
no, not at all, because the prosecution, the government has the power. You decide who you're going to prosecute. You decide who you want to cut a deal with. You decide who you're going to want to bring in as a witness, who you want to compel as a witness, who you say, you know what, you committed a crime. I'm going to hold this against you unless you are willing to cooperate and come in and testify. So not concerned as a
Yeah,
prosecutor
Dylan,
because
thank
you have the whole government behind you and resources as well. So while Diddy is a billionaire, was a billionaire, and does have a lot of money and wealth,
That's
and can bring
wrong,
eight
bro.
firms in, the government is the government and has pretty.
Yeah, these fucking are cold, dude.
Emotional damage.
How dare you, man?
How dare you? Much unlimited resources to bring this prosecution, and they know that they can't fall flat, so they are giving it their all.
And there are still weeks ahead.
Yeah.
Someone got immunity. Someone's going to
Exactly.
testify.
Have to.
It's an evil world out there,
Thank you
man.
both so much for being with us. And coming up, Michael B. Jordan.
Oh snaps!
What does white nail polish mean? Two topics a lot of people are searching online. When
Wait a minute, white polish. Is that like a keyword for something? Oh.
it comes to this Diddy trial, we'll tell you why when we come back.
That's a good question. I mean, the trial's still continuing tomorrow, right? I mean, there's got to be a lot of witnesses, Dylan. Think. I mean, we're talking more than 10. I mean, freak offs. Come on, man. How many people were those freak offs? Just think about it, right? Sheesh.
It's an evil world we live in.
Welcome back. We are following the latest in the sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy
it doesn't,
trial.
man. It
on
doesn't even
Sean
feel
and
real,
Diddy
bro.
Combs. But first, let's get you up to speed on some of the other
Parallel
big court
universe.
cases happening right now. In Idaho today, a pretrial hearing for Brian Koberger. The judge
What
went
is
over
it?
the basic
Did he?
rules for his upcoming capital murder trial and left the door open to possibly sequestering the jury.
Oh, okay. This is for
Koberger's
the
lawyers insist he had nothing to
Idaho
do with the
Florida. That's
deadly
another
stabbings
case.
of 4 college students.
This was a
set
crazy
for
case.
August. The Menendez brothers possibly one step closer to being released from prison.
Oh, we got to follow up this case, man. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Menendez brothers case. I was a little kid when this popped off, and I was here, in LA actually, living in South Central, but I don't, I'm not going to be listening to the news. I found out through the Netflix documentary. Hit me with a number 7 if you have watched that Netflix documentary. I want to know what you guys think about it.
prison. Multiple sources telling ABC News the hearing initiated by Governor Newsom next month to explore a path to clemency.
Oh, Dylan Dank, man, that's why a lot of people were at those freakouts, man. They were trying to make it, man. They were trying to become. I mean, a lot of people fly from fucking. Well, I'm not supposed to say that word. In other words, I'm trying to clean my streams, but sorry about that, guys. Yeah, there's a lot of people that come over here to become actors, actresses, artists, and all that. Shout out to y'all, man. Keep on doing what y'all do, man. Keep at it. And yeah, man, there's a people that got involved probably back then trying to make it. And
For the two,
check
now
it out,
being
Dylan.
turned
It's
into
pretty,
a regular
pretty good.
parole board hearing. The
Sure, you
move
gotta
could
like it.
expedite the brothers' path to freedom. However, if they're granted immediate parole, and that is not a given, it could be months or even years before they are actually released. In the Karen Reed murder retrial just outside of Boston, the medical examiner taking the stand saying John O'Keefe died from blunt impact injuries of the head and hypothermia, but she couldn't determine how those injuries happened. Reed has denied allegations she hit her then boyfriend, a Boston police officer, with her car and online. And that's where our segment Searched comes into play, where we break down people are, in this case, entertainment and pop culture for us. Kelly. Okay, so based on our ABC website outside court for just a chance to get inside. Kelly Carter joins us now. She covers entertainment and pop culture for us. Kelly. Okay, so based on into the trial include will Trump pardon
My bad, I had to
Diddy? And just to give you an idea of how interested people are in this case,
people are camping?
look at this. People camping out in tents in the rain outside court.
Thinking about
just
going,
a
man.
chance
But
to
I didn't
get
know people were
inside. Kelly
camping.
Carter joins us now. She covers entertainment and pop culture for us. Kelly. Okay, so based on our ABC web search data,
See what they
nearly
say.
all the people in the Diddy Cassie world mentioned during the trial have seen a bump in searches. So, like who?
Yeah, you know, people are searching for names like Kim Porter, who obviously is a former partner of Sean Combs. She is now deceased, but they shared three biological children together, and a fourth one that they.
That's another crazy case. Kim Porter, Diddy's ex. That's another crazy case, man. May she rest in peace.
They raised together. And also Michael B. Jordan, you know, that came up initially in jury selection, but again in courtroom today because people are discovering that they potentially may have dated when they were filming a movie together briefly at some point. So people are searching, trying to see if there's anything that they can call.
We call it the
what
poke.
was mentioned in court.
We call it the poke here on the stream, though, just in case. Yeah, but dude, YouTube still trips, still a thing, so gotta use keywords, right? I hate that. Whatever happened to freedom of speech? Nah, code words. My bad. Let's go back to it.
Today with that name.
Now, this next topic actually popped up 2 days in a row because it was up yesterday as well. In prison, Suge Knight says Trump will pardon Diddy if convicted, was widely searched.
Wow, bro.
And today, will Trump pardon Diddy?
Yeah, I want to remind people again that Suge Knight, of course, was a
snap.
rival
Look at that.
music mogul to Sean Combs. You know, he ran Death Row Records as co-founder.
My brother, the Trump was over there at the parties too.
Sensational.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That while Combs was founder of Bad Boy Records, and they
most of them partying together.
So he gave a prison side interview where he mentioned that he thinks that might happen should Sean be found guilty in this court of law.
This next search is interesting. What does white nail polish mean?
Yeah, you know, people are obviously searching that because there's a lot of conversation about how Sean may have orchestrated every little bit of these freak-offs, and including what she wore, including what color her nails were, and he requested, according to her, that they were white. And so people are trying to discover, is there some hidden meaning? Of course, if you search that, you will see that it tells you what it always tells you about the color white, is that it means purity of some sort, but people are trying to see if there's some deeper meaning with that one as well.
Yo, Dylan Dank, what about Diddy with Trump and biting his lower lip?
Well, with that search.
Another question people are asking, who is Jonathan Odie?
Now, this one is interesting.
Hmm.
Jonathan Odie was arrested a couple of years back for
Oh,
opening
that was the
fire
stripper?
against some police officers in a Trump hotel in Miami. And he
Yeah,
said
this
at
crazy
the
dude.
time that he is a former adult film star who was hired to be Sean Combs's sex slave. No one really paid attention to that conversation, but his name came up in court this week as
Ooh.
Cassie identified him as one of the sex workers that they would hire. So apparently,
And everybody laughed at this guy. I'm gonna play the video after but everybody was laughing at him. He was saying that he was part of the freak offs and he pumped Diddy or something. I'm paraphrasing, allegedly, or Cassie and other people.
there may have been something to his claims a few years ago.
And this last question, we heard one of our legal contributors also reference Diddy's worth. People want to know, what's Diddy's net worth?
Yeah, you know, and I
question.
think that probably came up because, of course, we found out in court what that settlement fee was for that 2023 civil suit that Cassie filed against Sean and settled, you know, within 24 hours. And then that amount was $20 million, which to all of us watching and even to those of us covering this trial is a large sum of money. And so people wanted to probably get an idea of how much of a hit that was to an empire that we knew at some point had grown to $1 billion enterprise, but probably is significantly less and hovering around maybe 300 million now, according to a couple of financial reports.
Kelly, as always, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us. We'll be back with new episodes every day of the trial. The show streams right here on ABC News Live, Disney Plus, and Hulu weekdays at 5:30 p.m.
There we go. There we go. So Diddy's got money, bro. Like maybe he doesn't have Oh, you remember that Dilladank? Diddy has money though. Diddy he has money. Maybe under his name account, like is that little millions that he has, but that guy has all kinds of crazy accounts all over the place, man.